Oh man, crazy crap going on at work. I have a system that I use for my test, and somebody was running another test on it the day I was gone because I was out sick yesterday, which is perfectly fine. But somehow it got into a state that I didn't like. So what do I try to do? I try to put the next version of the software on it because, you know, every day we have new versions of software to try out. But silly me, should have checked with somebody, because the test I run, basically they're like, oh, it doesn't work on that one, somebody broke something, they're going to fix it. It's already been fixed and shrunk, blah, blah, blah. Well, I kill an hour and a half trying to get my system back to the state where I can do something with it. I basically said, you know what, I mean, this is after just pounding on this machine and pounding on it, trying to get it to stop saying service or error or something like that. It's all because, because I put a broken system on it. Of course, that happens anytime. It's why we test it first before we send them out. Put it on my system, and I'm banging on it, trying to get it to work. And right before I went out, I rebooted it, or basically did a power shutdown of the system right before I walked out for lunch. And I'm like, let me go eat. Come look at this again. I feel pretty confident about this last thing, though, that hopefully it'll actually put a version of the system on that's worth testing and worth using. It was basically the version that was on it this morning when I started. So we'll see how it goes. This is one of those days where you just have to, you do what you think is right, and it turns out to be really wrong, and you have to go through great pains to fix what you thought was right in the first place. This is a lowrider, man. Not too many of them left on the road. Oh man, interesting morning. It's lunchtime, January 31st, 2014. I am exiting my work, and it is like 70 degrees outside. It's ridiculous. So I come up here in the parking garage and yell at the pigeons, is what I used to say. Well, they used to all be up in here. They ran out the pigeons several years ago, so I just come up here and eat. But I still tell people I'm yelling at the pigeons. There's this guy I watch on YouTube. He has a tow truck company. Or actually, he's a repro man. And there was one situation the other day where he had a parking garage he needed to go into, and it was on a secure property. And he was able to sneak into the gate and run upstairs to these two vehicles he was looking for. And it turned out neither one of those were his vehicles. And his security was on him like that. They ran him off. And I'm surprised he didn't get charged with trespassing. But I was sitting there thinking the whole time, it's like, man, if he'd had one of those drones, a little remote control helicopters, he could have flown it up into that parking garage, because it was only like the third floor, and zipped around and gotten pictures of at least the license plates sent back to him, because those things are Wi-Fi. And hopefully he got the helicopter back down before anybody was any the wiser. What are the laws on something like that, I wonder? I mean, is that trespassing? If technically, if you were able to do it and not land the helicopter, so let's say he was able to fly in through the open side, because these are open, able to fly the chopper in through the side and get pictures of license plate numbers or what have you. What if he was out to record a conversation, or somebody was out to record a conversation, and they were able to hover this helicopter in such a way that the people that were recording couldn't hear them? What are the laws on that? What about, I mean, there's just an endless number of scenarios where it's an interesting age we're coming to. I ordered a couple of these snack wraps from McDonald's. I'm trying to eat a little healthier, you know, but I'm looking at what's in here and I'm thinking, you know, they have a full-blown size wrap, same thing, for $3.99. I think it's $4, and by the time you order 3 of these things, you're already over that price. I'm thinking, damn, I should have just ordered the big one. Of course, that's what they're thinking. But why does healthier food cost so much more? I can get a McDouble, which is 2 just, you know, quote, meat patties, and very little few vegetables. It's 1 piece of cheese for $1. I mean, come on, it's $1, and these are almost 2. They're not quite 2 a piece. Like a $1.80 or something like that with tax on it. It just upsets me. You wonder why I'm asking? Because I got this. I don't want to get that. It took me a long time to get this thing, and I want to get rid of it now. So I'm gonna try a little bit better. But good God, I mean, it's no wonder America's fat, because it costs too much to be skinny.
Camera does not do those lights justice. They're very bright. But I don't know, some filter on the camera screws with them.